favor. Private legal practitioner and social activist Oliver Barker-Vormawor has criticized Ghana's political culture, describing it as intolerant of dissenting views. He said the country's political environment is dominated by sycophancy, where individuals are reluctant to challenge authority. He argued that members of political parties who attempt to challenge internal decisions are often victimized or sidelined. Oliver Barker-Vormawor referenced former NDC Deputy General Secretary Koku Anyidoho and former MPP stalwarts like Reku Brobe and Owusu Bempa, who according to him were pushed aside after addressing divergent opinions. He described the culture as a mafia system where party members are discouraged from airing grievances publicly. He stated it is not for no reason that certain persons who is excluded from their various parties. The system does not tolerate it. I see it as a mafia built where what is dirty lining must be kept indoors. If not, your loyalty is being questioned. So Oliver Barker-Vormawor is saying that is condemning a mafia-style political culture, something he has noticed in all political parties. But then I also believe that everyone is actually entitled to their own opinions. I'm sure no one is being sidelined in a political party, depending on what you do or depending on what you also bring on table. If you belong to a political party, you're supposed to work in the rules of that political party. You're supposed to go according to the proceedings that have been laid down in that political party. And then when you don't go according to it and you've been sidelined, I feel like you should do the right thing, or you should do your homework well. With the issue of Koku Anyidoho, we all know what led to one thing and the other, and is out of the party. I don't see it as a mafia, as he being mafiaed or sidelined from the party. People who are even sidelined from the party actually voice out when things are not going well in the party. They come out to voice out. They come out to say things they feel like it's not going on right, and the party is supposed to do it this way or that way, and they are not doing it. They say something about that. Even when we take Kufuor of the MPP, it's got to a time some people are saying that Kufuor has been sidelined. Kufuor himself came out to, he actually brought out a notice that he was sidelined from the party. But even with that, when something is not going on in the party, he comes out to speak about it. He talks about it. So with the mafia sort of this thing that Oliver Barker-Vormawor is saying, when it has to do with internal politics, I feel like that has to do with his opinion. But then I want us to also look at this, where people outside the party, not necessarily you being a part of the party, but people outside the party. And it's like you don't really have the say to say something when you feel like your leader is doing something wrong or right. And we've had leaders threatening civilians in their face because they are leaders. We've had politicians threatening civilians in their face because they've entrusted with power. And we've seen instances where leaders even slapped civilians in their face, and no one has said anything about that. And nothing has been done to them because we feel like they are leaders. And then we feel like they can do anything at all. They cannot be corrected. But it's not supposed to be so. And as much as you're a leader, you're a human being. You can actually commit mistakes. And that is why you have people around you to tell you that, no, the route you are taking will not lead you into, or will not land you into something profitable. So you're supposed to take the step. Yes, you can never see a leader without a follower. Every successive leader has a follower. He has followers around him. And the followers are not there because they want to emulate your style. Yes, some of them would like to emulate or see you as a mentor. But aside that, they are also there to let you know, yeah, you are my boss. Yes, that is a fact. But at least, oh, boss, there is something I feel like you're not doing right. Can we do it this way? Simple. In a respectful tone. I don't know, be a baby. But we don't really see that here in Ghana, especially when it has to do with politicians and civilians. We've seen instances where Afenyo Markin slapped a police officer in the face, and Yako can you see police officer no ne any bibi. Uncle si babya. But if it were to be a civilian that did that to a politician, wah, ya pay lawyer, you do work with them. And ube them also. Ube them. Especially when you don't have the money to hire a lawyer, ube them mache. And it's bad. In as much as you've been trusted with a power, doesn't mean that you should intimidate your followers. You should intimidate people who are in to help you materialize your vision. No, it shouldn't be like that. And politicians are fond of doing that. They don't care about us. They don't feel, it's like they have no emotions for we, the citizens. And automatically, every citizen in Ghana is a follower to the government. And it's bad. It is something that we need to correct. We need to change that status quo because it's not helping us as a nation. Why will you, raise your hand as a leader? Hit a police officer as if it's sad though. And that issue has died out just like that. And I know by now they'll be blaming the position because Jeffrey in Sakradida. We need to put these petty things into consideration. You know, sometimes you don't really pay attention to them, but Edienya, as a country, is hurting us negatively. Please, we need to work on it. And as much as you're a leader, you're listening to me as a politician, your constituent has given you power, doesn't mean that you won't regard them again. No. You are standing in for them, and without them, you don't exist. And it's the same way, without you, they also don't exist. Because you live for them, and they live for you. But in a case where you feel like you are the one living for them, and they have nothing to offer you, that is when the chaos starts. If all civilians are to arise today and feel like what the politicians are doing to us, we are not in agreement with them and they are hurting our feelings and all that, then it means Ghana. And that is not what we want. So the leaders are supposed to do the right thing and the followers also walk in their footsteps. Thank you for making time with me on the Biscuit.